Welcome to our channel. Today, we examine one of the most shocking and tragic incidents to strike the heart of Washington, D.C., and send ripples around the globe: the Capitol Jewish Museum shooting. In a moment that should have been dedicated to cultural celebration and unity, the lives of two young diplomats were brutally cut short outside one of the most symbolic Jewish institutions in America. This was not just an act of violence, it was a deliberate, targeted attack that sparked a global response, reignited conversations about antisemitism, and placed renewed focus on safety, extremism, and the fragility of peace. In this video, we take a deep and thorough look at the events of that night, the lives that were lost, the man behind the violence, and the powerful response that followed. This is more than just news, it's a call to remember, to understand, and to act. The victims of this senseless act were Yaron Lischinsky and Sarah Milgrim, two members of the Israeli diplomatic corps serving in Washington. Described by colleagues as intelligent, compassionate, and deeply committed to their mission, they represented the very best of modern diplomacy. That evening, Yaron and Sarah were attending a formal event hosted by the American Jewish Committee, an annual celebration honoring Jewish American contributions to society and culture. It was meant to be a night of unity, pride, and connection. They never made it home. Witnesses say they were walking together outside the museum when the gunman approached and opened fire. Both died at the scene, leaving behind grieving families, friends, and a stunned international community. The suspect, Elias Rodriguez, is a 30-year-old man from Chicago. He was apprehended not far from the scene of the shooting. During his arrest, witnesses say he loudly chanted, "Free, Free Palestine," signaling an ideological motive tied to the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Authorities say Rodriguez confessed to the attack shortly after being taken into custody. He also provided the location of the firearm he had used later, recovered by law enforcement. While preliminary background checks show no formal affiliation with extremist groups, investigators are combing through his online activity for signs of radicalization. He now faces multiple charges, including federal murder, hate crimes, and terrorism-related offenses. Following the attack, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force launched a full-scale investigation. The Department of Homeland Security was immediately involved, and local authorities worked in close cooperation to secure evidence, identify potential accomplices, and analyze the shooter's motivations. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed that this act is being investigated as a possible hate-fueled terror attack. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem echoed these concerns and pledged that all Jewish institutions across the country would receive enhanced protection in the aftermath of this event. Forensic experts, counterterrorism agents, and digital analysts are now working around the clock to determine if this attack was the action of a lone individual or part of a larger pattern of ideological violence. As news spread, condemnation poured in from around the globe. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the act a vile assault on peace and civility. President Isaac Herzog expressed sorrow and solidarity with the victims' families and both emphasized the need to confront antisemitism wherever it arises. U.S. President Joe Biden expressed his condolences and condemned the attack in the strongest terms, calling it an assault not only on human life, but on everything this country stands for. Political leaders from Europe, the Middle East, and across the Americas also issued statements of support. International Jewish organizations, community leaders, and grassroots activists responded swiftly, organizing vigils, issuing calls for justice, and demanding stronger safeguards for vulnerable communities. This tragedy cannot be viewed in isolation. Across the world, anti-Semitic hate crimes have been on the rise, fueled by online radicalization, misinformation, and political polarization. From Pittsburgh to Paris, and now Washington, Jewish communities have increasingly found themselves the target of ideological rage. The Capitol Jewish Museum itself is a powerful symbol of Jewish heritage and endurance. That it became the backdrop for such violence underscores just how dire the situation has become. It raises urgent questions: are we doing enough to confront hate before it turns to violence? Are governments, platforms, and communities stepping up to protect those most at risk? Since the shooting, security has been significantly increased at Jewish institutions in the U.S. and abroad. The Israeli embassy has offered full support to the families of the victims, and private memorials have been held in their honor. Mental health resources, counseling, and trauma services have been activated for those affected, especially the Jewish and diplomatic communities in Washington. Public memorials and interfaith services are scheduled to take place across major cities. Jewish advocacy groups such as the Anti-Defamation League and the World Jewish Congress are renewing calls for better protections, improved counterterrorism strategies, and a zero-tolerance approach to hate crimes. Outside the Capitol Jewish Museum is a tragedy beyond words. But it is also a moment of reckoning. Yaron Lischinsky and Sarah Milgrim were not just diplomats. They were people with dreams, with futures, with families waiting for them to come home. Their deaths must not be in vain. They deserve to be remembered not just in grief, but in action. We all have a role to play. Whether it's speaking out against hate, reporting suspicious activity, demanding better policies, or simply showing kindness to our neighbors, we are all part of the solution. Let their memory guide us not just in mourning, but in building a world where such tragedies are never repeated. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay informed, and never be silent in the face of hate.